Well, good evening and welcome to Logansport High School. I appreciate everybody braving the elements. I know it's chilly out there to get here to the high school and welcome our class of 29, our incoming freshmen next year. To me, I am Michael Miller, the associate principal this year. I'll be taking over for Mr. Jones and principal next year. To me, this group is especially special because they were my first group of kiddos at C6 and then at LIS as we got together. And so it's great to now see just a quick couple years, as you guys know, as parents and as students, and welcoming them to the high school next year. So thank you again for being here to our class of 29 and also our parents and guardians and family. Real quickly, I'd like to just do brief introductions. Again, I did for myself. Ms. Fretwell, who is going to stand here, is our assistant principal in charge of curriculum and instruction. Mr. J.D. Dubes is our assistant principal of student services. Mrs. Combs is our director of guidance. Mr. Isles is our CCC Career Center director, and Dr. Christy Deal is our secondary curriculum director and also our P-Tech principal. You know, here at Logansport High School, as you guys know, being a part of Logansport, we embrace our diversity. Here at LHS, we have 30 different countries represented in 25 languages, and we know that these perspectives and backgrounds and the uniqueness of each of our backgrounds bring us together to represent a broader community here in Logansport. At our high school, you will focus, and you see a focus on these things here. We are a comprehensive high school that looks at our academics, career and college readiness, our fine arts, our athletic programs, and also our facilities that are second to none. So as students, coming in new, transitioning from our junior high school, building on the great things that you've done, what are the things that we're looking for? And so, looking at this is certainly not an exhaustive list, but if our students can come in every single day and look to do these things in 4 years, they're going to be so successful and be ready for their post-secondary needs, college, career readiness, looking to get into a community. So being respectful, taking school seriously, as I know they do, valuing their education, getting the most out of themselves and the experiences they have here, working to their potential, being self-disciplined, being a good citizen, being at school. I know that sounds silly, but students being here, making sure that you're here, and there's different incentives that we have, as you know, and you're going to hear more about as we meet with you, along with being able to be responsible and involved in things. We have so many different opportunities that you're going to see later this evening, and going to our cafeteria, talking with our staff, different opportunities that our students can get into to be able to be well-rounded and engaged within Logansport High School and within our community. Having school spirit and pride, supporting one another, supporting your classmates, and certainly being driven to learn and contribute to Logansport High School. Here are our 3 goals. These 3 things are going to be pillars to Logansport High School. Our graduation rate is extremely important, being at 90% or above, 95% attendance rate or higher, and ensuring that we are 100% college and career ready. And so you can see over the last 4 years, our graduation rate from 21 to 24. So last 2 years, we've been at that 91%, which is great. And we're always continuing to look to improve that. And this here is for our seniors, 70% or more, slightly above that. Senior class received 3 dual credits or more within their senior year. And so what does that mean? As you look here in 2024, we've had 4,210 dual credits that have been earned by our class for a total savings of $1.7 million. College tuition, as you guys know, is not cheap. The opportunities that our students have here at Logansport High School to be able to get involved in things that we have and what we offer in our partnerships with these great universities, Ball State, Ivy Tech, Indiana University. We just certainly encourage our freshmen and many others as you continue your time here in Logansport High School to get engaged and involved in dual credit opportunities if that's your fit. And as I said before, there at the top, with that, our dual credit opportunities, And again, over 90% of our LHS students participate in some opportunity within CCC, and Mr. Isles is going to talk about those wonderful opportunities here in a bit. But with dual credits, CCC opportunities, and many other things here, our graduation pathways that Mrs. Combs is going to talk about, our students will be 100% college and career ready. And so what does that mean when we are college and career ready? Well, we talk about the 3 E's here at Logansport High School, and I know this has been discussed at lower levels as well, because it's important that our kids are looking at what they're doing after their 4 years here at the high school. And so finding a way to be in one of these 3 categories: be enlisted, find that pathway, be employed in some manner, or enrolled in a post-secondary 2 or 4 year college. So we're going to go into some of these things, and really with this class, our class of 29, you guys, if you didn't know it or not, are at the foundation of a new opportunity and a new diploma changes from our Department of Education. And I will tell you this, we're still learning a lot that's coming from the Indiana Department of Education on what those requirements are. We've got some guidance and some handouts that we'll provide to you tonight. Mrs. Combs will go over some things as well too. But I would just encourage being flexible as we continue to work through what this looks like. They're providing the documentation this second semester for guidance to schools on ways that we can best support our students and put this into implementation. And I will tell you this, Logansport High School has a strong, rich tradition of curriculum and the programs that we offer. And we're going to continue to offer those opportunities to our students, and making sure that we are doing everything we can staffing-wise, programming-wise, to best support our community needs and your students. So without further ado, I'm going to have Mrs. Combs come up and talk a little bit about some things that are on the forefront with curriculum.
All right, good evening. Thank you guys for being here on this very cold night to learn about some of our opportunities for our current 8th graders. First, graduation pathways. Our first class at Logansport High School to graduate with graduation pathways was the class of 2023. Major change from previous years where we just had the Core 40 academic honors and technical honors. And the graduation pathway is really a broad idea of employability. Students have to earn the credits, and we'll talk about that in a minute. They also have to demonstrate employability skills and academic skills. Many ways they can demonstrate those employability skills, and we'll talk about those. So this is the new diploma for the class of 2029, and as Mr. Miller said, this just became final at the end of December. So they were voting on it. It just became final at the end of December. And it really is a complete revamping. For those of you who have had older children, I'm going to point out some of the significant changes, and we're not going to go into too much detail. There is still, we're looking for a companion document that will tell us kind of the courses that count for different things. So first, every student's going to need 8 credits of English. English 9 is the first one, and then they're going to need 5 additional credits. We've always done 9, 10, 11, and 12, but there's going to be a requirement of a communication class. So at some point, some may take it next year, but some might not. And then they're going to have 7 credits of math. They're going from 6 credits to 7. Everyone will have to have the Algebra 1. 4 additional math credits. In the past, that's been algebra, geometry, and algebra 2. And they've also added a personal finance class that's a requirement for this class. 7 credits of science, including a STEM and a computer science. All of the freshmen, we've worked it out that the plan right now is that you will all be required to take a computer science class as a freshman. If you picked up the course selection sheet, you'll see that we have that marked on there. And then the social studies credit. We have U.S. history, government. In the past, we've required econ. We're not going to require, that is not required. So there'll be a world history, world geography, and that has been pretty common. That's been pretty consistent. The 2 credits, they've gone from 3 credits to 1 credit of physical education and 1 credit of health. Hopefully everybody here, you've had so many opportunities at the junior high to get that done. So hopefully you all have gotten those credits done, so we can kind of take that off your list. And then they require 12 credits where they ask you to be intentional with Career Center classes. And now instead of the technical honors, we have the enrollment seals, the employment seals, the enlistment seals. So if I'm planning on going to a 4-year college, I am really probably going to want to get one of the seals, either the enrollment seal or the honors. If I want to enlist in the Marines, it would make sense that I would get the enlistment seal. And we have a lot of kids who are ready to go on to an apprenticeship. They want to go directly to work. So in that case, we would probably guide those students towards that employment seal. Again, a lot of details on there that the state's still finalizing the guidelines, and more of that is going to come. So employability, when you get those 42 credits, every student has to demonstrate employability skills. They can do that through different clubs, through a work ethic certificate, through a sport, participate in a club. JAG is a great program for juniors and seniors. Many of our students, I'm always amazed at how many of our students have a job after school, and they can use that as their employment skills, co-op, internship, and service learning. And the goal with that it has to be demonstrated, and we have to have a student work product where you have something on file that says that you have demonstrated employability skills. Next, we have the post-secondary readiness competency, and this is really, again, in the past, we've always talked about the enroll, the enlist, and the employ, and now the state has said, we're not going to talk about it anymore. Every student is going to leave with a plan. So if you're planning on going to a 4-year college, at the bottom you can see the academic and assessment-based competencies, the academic honors diploma, 3 AP classes or dual credit classes. There is an SAT benchmark that some of our students meet, and the ASVAB is for the actual enlistment, if somebody's enlisting. And then we have the post-secondary readiness competency where you can take, it depends on the program. It could be 2 or 3 years of classes at the Career Center. And that is a really popular choice because we have so many options. You have a student who wants to be an attorney, they'll probably do the 3 college level classes, but they also might do criminal justice at the Career Center. I have someone in our early college program right now who's going into welding, wants to do business and welding. So there are just so many opportunities there, and Mr. Isles will talk a lot about those, but you do have to have a specific sequences of classes. The guidebook is under construction right now. We're almost there with the Logansport High School freshman guidebook. Tells you just tons of information about. We're going to get the graduation, the new requirements in. Once we get all of those finalized, that will be on our website. Please to refer to it with any questions. Logansport High School Program of Studies. That will have all of our updated courses, so anything that we're offering, if you just want to take a look at what our math courses look like, what the prerequisites are, you want to see what science opportunities we have for students, all of that will be listed, and it'll have the prereqs as well. And then this is your 9th grade course selection sheet, and this will have all of the courses that you are going to be selecting for your freshman year. So you will have to choose an English, math, science. We've added a couple things. We have a great visual arts program. World language is, we have 3 world languages now. And then we also have some physical education that students can take. And we've added social studies. Generally, that's been for sophomores. We would just allow world history honors. But with the new diploma, we've opened that up a little bit if you want to take a social studies class. The musicians, we have choir, band, and we have a new guitar class that students have really liked this year. And then the one thing I wanted to point out, if you really like the writing for the yearbook, for the Tatler, journalism, those classes, if your students in the class of 2020 2029 take that class, one of those classes, it would count as your communication course, that requirement that we mentioned previously. And then we have theater arts, and we have, if somebody wants a study hall, some kids who are very involved feel like they need a study hall. And then I think, do we have the back page up here? And then these are the initial Century Career Center classes. And our idea for the freshmen, and Mr. Isles can speak to this, is that you look at a lot of different options. The majority of those classes will be a one-semester course. Scheduling options, just a couple things, right? Some of your students are in high school courses now. I always feel like there's a little bit of sometimes some confusion between what are the high school courses. Hopefully the junior high will give you transcripts of your high school courses. If they don't, I think it's reasonable that you would request that so you know what classes are for high school credit, or reach out to Mr. Eckelbarger or Miss Greiner. Discuss student goals. It's going to be more important forever. I always felt like there used to be some time for kids to figure out, because they're 14, right? They're so young, for them to figure things out. But really, sometimes once we get them on a path, there is not a lot of backtracking at this point with the requirements. So it's really important you have those conversations with your child. What are you thinking about? What classes do you like at school? What kind of a career? I know most of you, because you're here, are doing that anyways. And then review the course selection sheet. If you have any questions from our program tonight, all of the counselors will be in the hallway, and we will also have copies of the new diploma requirements if you want to pick those up or you want to meet your counselor. And then we will be at the junior high on March 6th and March 7th. It's a big crazy day. We're usually there 2 days, and we meet with all of the 8th graders to make sure they're getting the classes they need. The idea is that you would go over that before we get there. We'll do a call out to make sure that you know that we're coming. We'll probably do a call out the Sunday before, and hopefully you will go through that sheet with your students or with your children. And then also we do have quite a few of the students who come and they make an appointment with the LHS guidance department just to review it together. Sometimes the students really want to kind of map out that 4-year plan. And we're happy to kind of sit down with you and do that. So you can just call if you need an appointment after school, we can usually make that work as well. So thank you guys. Welcome, class of 2029. We are excited to have you. And parents, please reach out and communicate with us with any questions. Thank you very much.
Evening, everyone. It's kind of nice going last because I feel like everyone talks about Century and what we have to offer throughout the program. But that should tell you something, which is there's a great opportunity here, and really career tech ed, vocational education, maybe parents, depending on age, it's big. I graduated Logansport High School in 2001, and Century Career Center was not here. Like Altipwa Career Center was across town. And that was just something that it was an opportunity for our students, but it wasn't the forefront of where we are. And I think as we look at today's day and age, we're really seeing a workforce that's kind of transitioning a little bit. Not saying that college is not important, because it is. Education is great. But I think we are seeing a workforce that's shifting slightly from education more to skills-based. And we're seeing a lot of people retire out of our industry and our workforce. And so Century Career Center offers a lot of opportunities for students to find something they're passionate about, to find a career that they would like to work. Not just a job, but hopefully a career that they can continue and grow through the rest of their lives. One thing that is kind of unique about Century Career Center, it's not just Logansport High School students attending. We actually serve 7 school corporations within Cass County and just outside of Cass County as well. So primarily, Logansport High School makes up the majority of our students. It's about 86% or so, 88% of our students do come from Logansport. But we do see students come from other areas as well. And so it gives you an opportunity to kind of meet other students and find other people who are interested in the same things as you, which is pretty awesome. Up here is a list of our pathways, and so I know they kind of showed you on your ninth grade course selection sheet. If you looked at the back side, Century Career Center, you're not going to see 23 different things listed out here. But what I have kind of done is I've highlighted here in purple the things that have the purple highlight. These are pathways that actually have some sort of course available to you as a freshman. Okay, so if you're looking up here, and we have a wide variety of things. LTIPWA, when I was in high school, had basically 4 programs that you could select from. And now we're at a point where we have quite a bit more. But for example, if you're looking over here and you're like, landscaping, that sounds really cool. Like I'm kind of interested in learning about landscaping and what that would look like. The Principles of Agriculture class, it would be the starting point for you. And so basically, as you're kind of looking here, we have a lot of opportunities that you can begin possibly exploring as a freshman. They mentioned that we had these 1-semester courses, the exploration courses. The idea being we want you to try things. I think one of the best things that we can do for you at Century is help you find the things that you don't like. And I say that because you get into a class, maybe you're like, man, I think working on cars would be really cool. I want to learn to do that. And you get in there and you realize after about 3 weeks, I don't like working on cars. You're in this class and now is the time to kind of figure that out. So we have lots of opportunities for you to kind of check things out and explore. And just as you get through your math classes, your science, your English, your social studies, these are important classes. Do a good job with them because it gives you even more opportunities to get over with us and then start taking a look at some of these other things that you would like to do. Okay? I was a math person myself. We do dual credits at Century Career Center as well. In fact, it's like over 80% of our classes are dual credit courses. Dual credit, if you're not familiar with that, means that you are taking a high school class and getting the high school credit you need to graduate. But you are also being recognized by Ivy Tech or Vincennes University, and you are earning a college credit at the same time. We teach that class basically at the high school and college level. And ultimately, this is earning you credits and saving you potentially a lot of money. I believe Mr. Miller said it was like $1.7 million. At Century Career Center with our credits, last year we were around the 1.5 mark. That's a lot of money. That's staying within your parents' pockets or potentially yours. I read the other day that the real cost of college is getting close to $300,000 at this point, which in my mind seems kind of crazy, but it's very expensive. The awesome thing about Century is it's all of it. We can really kind of set you up to go on to post-secondary education, depending on what you're wanting to do, but we can also set you up to go directly into the workforce. And if I go back to that screen where we were looking at some of these things, you take some of our manufacturing opportunities, some of our health science opportunities, very popular programs in our area. You could be looking at jobs that are starting anywhere from basically $25 to $30 an hour, depending the field and things you're interested in. If you're talking salaries, it's possible, especially manufacturing. Get a job where you're looking at like $40,000 to $55,000 without going to that college experience. And so you start making that right off the bat. But we have lots of opportunities at Century, and we're very proud to work with Ivy Tech and Vincennes University to try and help you in whatever way that might be. Work-based learning, okay, is a really big part of us, and you don't get to go out and necessarily work jobs in the community right off the bat, but your senior year, which I know seems a long ways off, Mr. Miller will be telling you constantly, it'll be here before you know it. We place a lot of students within the community, different locations here. We're very proud of the work that we're able to do with that. And students, basically their senior year, let's say they've got all their classes in order and we know they're going to graduate and there's not a problem. They can do internships in different places. We've had lots of students working within the health sector, working within law offices, attorneys. We have students, co-op. Cooperative education is basically, I do my classes at the high school maybe in the morning, and then I go work in the afternoon. Like I go to work and I start getting paid. And that's a pretty cool opportunity when you got everything in order and you're on track. Just a couple pictures, things around Century. You're going to have an opportunity tonight to kind of walk through my area, if you will. Not all of my instructors are going to be here. I have a lot of instructors, they have industry experience, and I have people who basically, they commute. They commute 45 minutes. I have one instructor who drives from Plymouth, every day. And so it makes for a late evening. But we have smart manufacturing, health science is very popular. We have 2 pathways out of that. Basically, it's a pre-nursing track. We also have fire and rescue, which is a brand new program this year. Kind of falls into public safety with our criminal justice. Construction is a very popular program. We focus more on carpentry, which is like the wood, working, but we do a lot of projects for the school corporation as well. And so you see them kind of assembling these bleachers over here. We were able to do that for the baseball and softball fields over that way. Manufacturing is, I think, still a very big draw in Indiana. Manufacturing is actually Indiana's like #1 kind of occupational output there. And so things such as welding, machining, construction falls in there. We have quite a bit. Engineering, computer science, students work with drones in the hallway there, but they're learning to code, learning to go through things. And then more of the technical, like I want to do things 3D. And then photography, automotive, we have a lot. I don't want to take all of your time this evening, but I do appreciate you listening and kind of hearing what Century has to offer. I know I will see the majority of you at some point. It's about 90% of students from the high school come down our way, but I hope to see you soon. I hope to help you find something that you really are passionate about, and hopefully, after we get you graduated, you have a career that you're looking forward to. So thank you very much.
So the next couple of things is just, again, things that we have to offer here at Logansport High School, finding the niche and finding different pathways to help our students be successful. One of those is our partnership with SEL and the University of Indianapolis and our early college opportunities. So if you hear more about this and what is early college, you can see some of the different strategies we put in place for this group of students and the population. An impact teacher all 4 years, so they stay consistent with that. They're grouped in similar math and English and core classes as most as we can. They have one counselor that they see throughout their 4 years. Obviously, an increased point of emphasis for all students, but specifically with these students with that home and school connection and communication. They meet with Ivy Tech connection coach that we have on site, guest speakers, college field trips, and college and career fairs. So you can see here on the left side, we had 12 Logansport berries in the class of 24 that were part of our first cohort of early college graduates here from the high school. And then this side here, again, another opportunity that our students have here, and a great thing that we like to promote and get engaged in with our students is our ICC students, so the Indiana College Core, which is a base 30 core credits that transfer with them. And we had, in partnership with Ivy Tech in 24, 10 students who earned an associate's degree as Logansport High School students. So once they left here, they had already attained their associate's degree upon graduating from Logansport High School, and 62 students had completed their initial 30 core credits and with ICC, which is a wonderful, wonderful accomplishment. Again, so these are 2 supporting documents. This left side here is our ICC checklist, the 30 college credits that are, and typically, students will start that their sophomore year with a class primarily into their junior and senior year. But again, you can see the different courses that transfer that are a part of our partnership with Ivy Tech. The right-hand side is that general associate's degree. Again, you can see the different courses in partnership with Ivy Tech that we have with that. So you'll hear more about that, students, in your 4 years here with us at LHS. And you can see, look at the data on this, the growth and the opportunity that we've had since 2019. Now, I do have your general associates, so 2019 through 22, we did not offer that. We had our first really kind of 2 students on their own before we really kind of got it going with programs and supports in place. 2 students that did that in 23. In 24, we had 10 students, as I mentioned just a second ago, and we're projected to have 20 students in 25, so doubling that number. And then that ICC, as you can see here, that continual growth over the years, with anticipated about 70 students who will attain those College Core credits. So the next thing I have is another great opportunity that you probably hear a little bit about at the junior high, and we're getting it going even more. But Dr. Deal is going to talk about P-TECH and all we have to offer here at the high school.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I am Dr. Christy Deal. I'm the proud P-TECH principal, and I know that P-TECH is at the junior high. We do have a junior P-TECH program. But once you cross the street, it gets a little bit bigger and a little bit better. So I wanted to go ahead and explain what P-TECH is for those of you who are unfamiliar. So P-TECH stands for Pathways in Technology Early College High School. This is a national model that you will see in 16 other states, and it was birthed within Brooklyn, New York. And their connection with industry partners, specifically with Microsoft, is why it has that technology piece to it. However, we have adapted it to the Indiana version, and we are proudly one of 4 schools who started a P-TECH model within the state of Indiana. And we now have 13 other schools that are onboarding with this model. So what we are doing is we are looking for 30 young scholars, and what we want is a different learning experience for kids. What we realize is that traditional school is not for everybody. Doing the death march from class to class to class, like it's just not for everyone. And so what makes P-TECH different is that it has hands-on learning. So what this looks like is a bunch of project-based learning where students will be up in our P-TECH space for about 4 hours at a time, getting art, English, social studies, and math at any given point, because all of our teachers are collaborating together doing this project-based learning. The other piece is that they are doing workplace learning. So P-TECH really is a combination of the school, of industry connections, and also higher education. And a workplace learning challenge is something in which we have industry partners who come in. They essentially pitch a problem to the kids that they're having, a real life problem. The kids have 2 to 3 weeks, and then they propose some solutions to the companies. And along that line, they're getting feedback, and they are tweaking their ideas. They are ideating some other alternatives. And so it's a constant process that you will see from our young scholars. So we are looking for kids who want not only a high school diploma, but also potentially an associate's degree. So if you're sitting there and you're one of those kids where you're like, oh man, I'm getting D's and F's, my attendance isn't the best, I'm getting in trouble a lot, P-TECH probably is for you because you need an alternative way of learning. And so with P-TECH, you can explore whatever career pathway you'd like what Mr. Isles just talked about. And what also makes this different is that the way that we grade our students is not like a traditional rubric. Instead, we have learning threads. What we value, and in communication with our industry partners, is that when kids leave our program, we want them to have leadership skills. We want them to be able to communicate, have collaboration, have good work ethic, be self-directed in their learning, and also embrace creativity. And so on the left-hand side, these are just some notes from parents who have P-TECH students and how this has completely changed their students' lives. A really big pride point at the top is that you'll see our current student data, our current freshmen. At the end of 8th grade, their average GPA was a 2.1. And at the end of last semester, first semester in P-TECH, it was a 3.0. And that's with a large help of just doing school differently. And so there's also a quote from one of our young scholars. But what's important for you to know is that we will be at the junior high Monday, February 10th, doing recruitment. The young scholars will be over there. They'll talk about the program. You will have an opportunity to sign up. And then after that, there is an application and an interview process. Our goal is to get 30. Generally speaking, we get about 50 to 60 applicants at a time. So if that's something that you're interested in, I'd be happy to talk to you about it more. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Kind of claps.
Yeah. So I just have a few more things before we break out into groups. One thing that I just want to put on our students' forefront, traditionally, many of us in this room remember back to the high school, the traditional valedictorian, salutatorian recognition at the end of the year, your senior year, and distinguishing those students. Well, we've modified and adjusted that, and here at Logansport High School, we have Distinguished Graduate Program, which you'll see here recognizes top 10% of their class. Points are cumulative over their entire 4 years, which is important now that you guys as freshmen understand the opportunities and the things that you're involved in play a part in the attainment of this opportunity and recognition. It looks at different areas: academics, service, leadership, extracurricular, co-curricular, and looking at identifying the top 3% as distinguished and the other 7% is commended. And so this is the rubric that we utilize. As you notice here, 3 different areas: academic, and there's different criteria and point standards based upon the things that are listed here. Our service and leadership, middle column here, again, different opportunities that come along with student government, student council, membership roles within those entities, co-curricular, CCC honor recognition, and then lastly, our co-curricular and extracurricular opportunities with athletics, band, and the variety of different competition teams, theater, and different programs and opportunities that you have here as students. So again, you can start accumulating points next year to be able to attain your recognition and hopefully be one of these wonderful distinguished graduates. So again, looking at total service points, and here's what you get at the end of the road. So this is our class of 24, and you can see down here, congratulations to these that rank in the top 10% based on those different. So you'll see these students that are involved in a lot of different activities and involvement into clubs and different service leadership. So students, as I mentioned, get involved in things, find your niche, find a way to be able to attain different ways to not only make connections with other students, but also within our community and as our school community as well. So again, these are our pillars. So you can see, if you're familiar with this, students who understand and recognize that there was an integral person in their life that helped them achieve and attain the wonderful accomplishments that they've had. And so they've selected these individuals, and it's a wonderful recognition their senior year. And the last few things that I've got is just stay connected. So I'm going to leave this up for a second because there's if you're not familiar, there's a QR code there that will take you directly to the LHS website, along with following us on our Facebook and X at LHS_berries. We try to, again, make sure to get all the information out about events and activities and things that are happening. Our school website is a wonderful place to be able to check those things out and recognize our students. When you go to our website, this top right here, click on menu. Here's a few things that will be important for you, our students, because this is a lot of information, parents and students, I understand that. But we've got some supporting documents that will help you through this. So click on menu, you'll see freshman transition information. We'll upload this presentation. This is being recorded for you to come back later and watch for families and students that were not able to attend this evening. We'll also have the program of studies, our freshman guidebook, some other PE waiver things on there as well too, and just all the things you need to know to help ease your transition as you start with us in August of next year. So check out freshman transition. This is what I was in reference to. You'll see this. So again, the recording of things will be on here, your timeline, your waiver form, the freshman guidebook. And really what we do in that guidebook is we take the program of studies and comprehensive things that are a part of LHS and try to pare it down to give you just the details of what's important as a freshman to help you in your transition. And so what's next? Students, as mentioned, do your best. Make sure to do your best for yourselves. Make sure to do your best for your parents and guardians, your teachers. Visit our website, as mentioned. Review the online freshman guidebook and program of studies in March. We'll start scheduling, as Ms. Combs said, our freshman classes. If you have specific questions, we will, as Mrs. Combs mentioned, as you go by the main office, we'll have tables set up there with our counseling staff. We'll be available to be able to answer any questions you may have. Make schedule changes May 1st. That's a big one. May 1st to 25. Please make sure if you have any schedule changes to take care of them before that time. Mark your calendars, August 1st of 25. That's the Friday before we return back to school, will be our Berry kickoff. So we'll share more information over the summer as we get ready for that. But that will be our freshman orientation where we have the students come in and be able to go through and get ready and prepared for the next week and beyond. Our first student day is August 6th of 25. And then you've got 4 great years here at LHS. In preparation for what's ahead, your commencement, June 3rd, 2029. I know it seems like forever away, but students, it truly goes quickly. Enjoy the time that you have here. Embrace the opportunities that you have, and we look forward to the wonderful things that you will accomplish. So I know we're a little behind our 6:30 mark. We've got until 7:30. So what we will do is we'll make an announcement when we're ready to flip-flop, because what we'd like to do now is based on your last name, A through K. If you guys could go to the cafeteria, if you're not familiar with that, you will go up through McHale and walk out towards the Berry Bowl and down past the main entrance. Again, our counseling staff will be there. We'll be there as well, too. You guys will go down to the cafeteria, whereas everybody else, L through Z, will go to the Career Center, and we'll switch. I'll make an announcement when we're ready to do that. And again, I thank you guys for being able to come this evening. Have a wonderful evening.